All right, guys, here we are with the very last day of our final experiment of seventh grade. That feels pretty good. Okay, so I am borrowing Sean's data today. So good job, Sean. And he has yet to do or even be assigned the graph. So that's why that's blank. Okay, so down here for the conclusion, the big point here is that can you articulate via words? Okay, so not an oral explanation of what happened, but via words, what happened in this experiment. So you see here, it says after reviewing your data, in the data table, looking at your graph, the calculations, address your original hypothesis to the question you set out to answer. So just as a reminder, the question you tried to answer is very scientific sounding, and you need to actually reference this question. So what effect does the amount of light have on the height of your plant? Or what effect does the amount of water, or does crowding have on the height of your plant? And so you need to write a paragraph that includes the following. You need to restate your original hypothesis. So, like, I'm literally going to go up to the hypothesis and right here. If I place my plant in an area with the most amount of sunlight, then the height of the plant will increase. And I'm going to go all the way back down. I'm going to start by just pasting that there because I'm going to need it. So I'm going to need to restate my original hypothesis, do a brief summary of what I did in the experiment, and I'm going to definitely want to reference the question that I'm trying to answer within that question. And then include specific references to your data, minimum of 3 references to the data that I collected that supports or refutes my hypothesis. Then I draw a conclusion. What effect did my independent variable have on the height of the plant? So first, I want to start with an indent. I want to introduce my thought. I set out to answer the question, what effect does the amount of sunlight have on the height of my plant? I originally believed that if I place my plant in an area with the most amount of sunlight, then the height of the plant will increase. And my data either supported that, this idea, or refuted that. So here's where you need to add in, I need to get rid of that period right there. You need to add in whether or not you support that or refute that. So already now I've done number 1. Number 2, a brief summary of what I did in the experiment. For this experiment, I set up 3 cups, 1 in direct sunlight, 1 in partial sun, partial shade, and 1 in complete darkness. These cups had the same amount of soil, water, same size of cups, and same duration of experiment. I should say same amount of seeds too. Seeds, soil, water, same size of cups, and same duration of experiment. Over the course of 14 days, I found that cup was the best. Or grew the tallest, let's say it grew the tallest because it's all about height. Grew the tallest. Now I'm going to actually give examples. So I'm going to say, like, on day 14, cup C grew blah, 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 while cup B grew blah, 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 while cup A grew blah, blah, blah. That's referencing your actual data. You can then also include your calculations. So you can say, cup A or 1 averaged 1.3 centimeters a day, while cup B averaged 1.7 centimeters a day. You're actually needing to bring in 3 specific data points. So day 14 would be a great one to share. Your calculations is a great one to share, maybe even like a midpoint in there. So that's your evidence. And then my final thing, draw my conclusion. What effect did my independent variable have on the height of plants? So I could also get into on this. So, like, in conclusion, the plants that were in the direct sunlight were ended up actually not being quite as healthy or tall because it was too much sun for the a little bit of water. But maybe had I added more water, perhaps my results would be different. Or although my plant in darkness ended up being very tall, it wasn't healthy at all, and it's because it was in search of finding the light. This is where you kind of bring in what the overall results were and then do a final stamp of like, this is what I learned. Okay. So the more the better. Definitely don't just say like crap. Give me stuff that's actually like based in your data. But this right here is a very huge portion of your grade and really want to put in a lot of effort to make sure that you're getting the best you can. So this is your last major assignment of 7th grade science. So please crush it. Good luck.